Yes, people, welcome back to Albert J TV match preview time. Aston Villa versus Arsenal. Before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, you know what's going to happen. Let's hit the intro. Yes, people, welcome back. Welcome back. Match preview time. Aston Villa versus Arsenal. People, if you're watching, this is on Periscope, it's going live on Facebook, as YouTube. Smash the like button. Actually, don't smash it. Kick the like button, smash it, poke it, do whatever you need to do. Just hit it. Guys, I've got two special guests with me. I've got my Villa guy, coming in a tiny bit later. Hopefully, Villa together. Jude is meant to come in as well, but he's got some last minute plans. But guys, go and follow him anyway. He's a good guy, top guy. He came in on Monday, my transfer deadline day show. But with further ado, Anthony, welcome back, my friend. Where can the guys find you on your channel and social media?
Yeah. Great to be back. Thanks again for the invite. Yeah, you can find me Republic of Arsenal. So yeah, give me a follow there, and look, hopefully this will become a regular gig. I'll be back, and you can come on my channel sometime yourself and Dylan.
Of course, I'll come on your channel, man. Of course, I'll come on there. But yes, let me introduce the Gooner Nation at the Gooner Nation. Dylan, where can the guys find you, my friend? And thank you once again for coming back.
Hey, listen, the pleasure's all mine, honestly, man. It's always fun talking to you guys. And at the Gooner Nation, that's my Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You're going to find everything there. I tell you what, man, your work ethic impresses me, because I put up like one video here and there, maybe 2 videos a week, and I see the work you're doing. I'm thinking, you know what, I need to step up my game. So I'm going to be doing a bit more content now that I've seen your work. But no, it's a pleasure being on with you, man.
No, I appreciate it. It's funny you mentioned that, because you know what, funny enough, Dylan and Anthony, I actually have taken more of a back seat. Actually, a hell of a lot of a backseat for when I first started in June, but that was more so to do with I've been very open about my things going on outside of YouTube world, so that's why the content does come out still, but it's not as frequent as it was before. But yeah, let's get into it, man. So off the back of our recent defeat, our first defeat in 7 against Wolves, what a strange game, man. I want to get you guys quick thoughts, really. Let me not waste any time with it. I'll kick off with Dylan. What was your general thoughts on the Wolves game, taking into consideration team lineup and yeah, just the game in general, mate? To be honest.
So yeah, not even for the past few months, the one problem that I've always had with Arsenal is I thought we always started off a little bit too slow. I felt like we left it a bit too late to get into the game. With this one, within 30 seconds, we're hitting the post, we're attacking, putting pressure on, and I'm thinking, you know what? For the first time, I actually looked at it and I thought, this is a proper team now. This is what I'm expecting. Wasn't perfect. Still a little defensive fragilities here and there, but I like the energy. I like the attacking intent. How the hell do you sum up that second half? How do you sum up what happened after that, mate? It's just impossible. There's not anyone you can blame. I thought I started off blaming Luiz because I didn't see it properly. When I looked back at it, I thought, hold on a second. What has happened here? And I tell you something that I said in my review and something I tweeted out. I said, nothing's going to happen from this. We can review it. We can appeal it. Nothing's going to happen because it's always in the benefit of the referee. That's the problem, man. And I was saying, you can blame Craig Pawson, but you know what the problem is? Nothing's going to happen. No consequence, no turnover. So the problem is the FA. If you got rid of Craig Pawson today, you're going to see the same mistake next week because these guys, they're ruining football, man. That game was big. If we win that, we still got a big chance at Europa League. Now, Everton have got 2 games in hand and they're around 6 points ahead of us, 5 points ahead. They win those 2 games in hand, wave goodbye to top 6. I don't even blame the players that much, except Leno. Let's be honest, no one knows what happened there. But it's a tough one. It's a real tough one to take.
We'll come on to Leno.
It's tough. It's a tough one, and I'll be honest, I don't really blame the manager. I don't blame the players, really.
Yeah.
What's important, man, is the next game. If we slip up again, I see it just taking a big toll on us. Tough one to take last week.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to come to you. Yeah, just the same question, mate. Your thoughts on the game. I'm sure you're going to talk about the refereeing.
Yeah.
Not obviously not just this game. I know a lot of Arsenal fans for I would say a good couple of years now have been really on the officials, man. And I've got to be honest, like I can't go through every single game, but I mean, some of the decisions we've got, even I've got to think, nah, there's something got to be in this, man, because this is taking the piss. But yeah, and Anthony, what's your thoughts, mate? Sorry, mate, go on, bro.
Yeah, well, like in terms of that with the decisions, yeah, we've been on the end of a couple of bad ones, and that ref in particular, Craig Pawson, I think that's 4 times he's refed us, and a couple of bad decisions. Remember the Crystal Palace game?
Oh, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, same ref again. And look, I like to give the benefit of the doubt, but I try not to have that mindset of the referees against us, the officials are against us. It is hard though when you see it repeat time and time again. Look, something's got to be done. We spoke a bit about this last night. I had a couple of guys on my channel, and we were discussing refs and VAR. And one of the big points that came up was, at the end of the day, a player isn't doing his job. He's accountable. He generally has to face the media. He'll have to face his manager, his teammates. The saying goes for the manager. He faces the media. He gets questioned. Why did you decide to do this? What was the thinking behind this tactic, formation, whatever? Referee makes a big decision. Nobody's asking questions. I mean, we're all asking questions on social media and that, but he's got no accountability. He's not answerable to anybody. And I'm not saying, again, when we spoke about this last night, people were saying, well, it could be a form of intimidation with regard to referee. I don't feel that's the case. I think in day-to-day life, there has to be accountability. I go into my job. If I'm not performing to the standard that my employer expects, I'm accountable. They ask me, why did you make this decision? Why is this happening? Why are you making the same error over and over again? Someone's got to pull you up on it. And I think the refs, it's easy to make certain calls when well, look, I'm going to get a backlash online, social media. But at the end of the day, that's it. Like, it's not going to go any further. Even 5 minutes at the end of the game, it might just give us a bit of if we could get an understanding, maybe the referee's perspective, his point of view. If he can break down, okay, look, this is what I saw. This is why I felt I had to make the decision. It'd clear up a lot of the guessing. We're saying, is this guy against us? What was he thinking? At least if we can get a piece of his mind, we might have a bit more understanding and kind of go, okay, in fairness, I can understand. Because look, at the end of the day, the referees are only human. It is the toughest job in football. The VAR system is there to help, and we know it's a flawed system. Hopefully someday we'll get there. But yeah, I would just like a bit more accountability from the referee. In terms of the game itself, I won't ramble on too much. But yeah, look, if you were a neutral, I think it's a game that had absolutely everything. There was Saka hit the post after 30 seconds. He had a goal disallowed. There was 2 red cards. There was a penalty call that it wasn't. There was a team take the lead, a team come from behind. It had a bit of everything. A goalkeeping error. Mental game, absolute mental game. A serious contrast to the Man United one where I was scratching my head going, how am I going to talk about this? This one, I think I had too much content to talk about. My head was spinning. But yeah, look, it was one of those. Again, people have said to me, look, we got a bit of luck with the Kieran Tierney one against Chelsea. We had our bit of luck that night, the Saka cross. This is the world resetting itself and it's come back around to bite you. I don't like that kind of, I don't feel like, you gained advantage this week, you're going to be on the opposite end next week. Look, unfortunately, it is what it is. Like I said, great game for the neutral, but yeah, as an Arsenal fan, tough night at the office.
Yeah, just sort of going through this kind of like possession stats. Even with 9 men, Wolves 55% possession, 11 shots, 7 on target, 9 corners. Arsenal 45% possession, 9 shots, 3 on target. Before I'm going to bring in our Villa guys, I'm just going to say my piece. Apparently, I mean, I put a tweet out saying that I think actually for the Arsenal's in the chat. Actually, I think big up Alex. and he said about refereeing. I said the two referees I don't want to see referee an Arsenal game ever again is Martin Atkinson and John Moss. And I think John Moss was actually in the was he in Stanley Park for the game the other night against Wolves, which I was like, well, that tells you all you need to know. But the fact the ref never even went to the monitor, even though I'm sure there was some dialogue between him, Craig Paulson, and the guys in Stockley Park, wherever the hell it is. To not even go and look at it, to me, was bizarre anyway. The actual rule is just ridiculous. And I'm not just saying that as an Arsenal fan and thinking that, you know, Louise got a tough decision, because when it happened, I thought, you know what, let me not go in on Louise, because it's too easy to do it.
Yeah.
But I thought, when I watched it again, I thought, no, come on, man. The ref's got to see sense here. But then when it's either Peter Wharton or Philip Wharton explained it in the studio on BT, I thought, Jesus Christ. So let me get this right. You're basically telling defenders, right, or giving them the green light, go and wipe the guy out. You'll give away the penalty, but you'll get a yellow card. To me, that is a law that is just nonsensical. But as for the actual game itself, in terms of a complete performance this season, I thought Arsenal's the best I've seen this season was probably Chelsea on Boxing Day, and I thought the game away to Southampton over a sustained period of time was probably our best performance that I've seen. I thought the first half against Wolves, particularly Thomas Partey and Bukayo Saka, were different class. How we never went in a couple of goals up at half time came to bite us back on the arse, unfortunately. And you get a wonder goal from Moutinho, a moment of complete madness from this guy. When I saw it, I thought, what is he doing? I thought it was instinctive when the ball came to him that he's just going to head it out. Just put your head on it. Just head it out. And he's handballed it. And I just thought, what's this guy doing? And now we've got the issue now where he's obviously suspended for the game on Saturday. It's a big sort. It's a tough one to take, but it's not one game that I thought, you know what, I'm going to lose my head, and we take it on the chin. Not great, but we move, man. But guys, smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to my guys' channels and follow their Twitter handles. I'm going to get my thing on the screen. Where's it gone? And you've got my Instagram and my Twitter above my head on the overlay. Go and follow now. You can multitask. You can do it. You can do it. Do everything. But we're going to bring in Chris, my guy, man. Villa together. Let's get him in. Chris, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks. By you,
Chris. First, I got to say, right now, I was prepared. I got your message about he's going on Sky Sports. Had my ginger tea ready. My carrot cake was sitting there watching it. I didn't even get to put my derriere on the chair. And that flaming Frank Lampard came out. He was sacked. I was like, oh my god. So, Chris, you're going to get more than a minute or 2 minutes in on this channel, mate. Don't worry about that.
There you go. See, I'd rather be on here than Sky Sports, mate.
Chris, you're too kind, mate. I'll drop a couple hundred in your account, mate. Give me a sort code. That would be quite fair.
Yeah,
pleasure to get you on, man. Yeah, I know. Obviously, you had a tough defeat yesterday. I mean, I saw the brief highlights, so I'm going to sort of come to you straight away. Was it well deserved from West Ham, or how did you thought the game went from a Villa point of view, mate?
Yeah, hats off to West Ham. It's one of them. West Ham deserved to win, but at the same time, you could still see where we went wrong. I think most Villa fans would probably agree with me in that there's been a lot of games this season that when we have lost, we've come out the losing side. We've been a bit baffled as to why we've lost, or it's been a contentious kind of VAR decision that's kind of gone against us, which you guys know all too well.
Yeah,
that's the thing. But yeah, last night, West Ham better team by far. We changed our shape slightly, and it just didn't work. You'd struggle to kind of find a Villa player that played well.
Yeah.
Martinez, who you guys obviously know well.
Very, very well, Chris. Very, very well.
He made a couple of I don't want to say errors, but there was a couple of uncharacteristic issues with a couple of the goals. normally kind of anything that he can get his hands to, he saves and he gets rid of it. But the second and third goal, he gets his hand to both of them, and it goes in. We just looked out of sorts. Whether fatigue's an issue or not, I don't know. But yeah, fully deserved West Ham. They did a job on us. In all fairness, they played 2 right backs to deal with Jack Grealish. And it almost got to the point when, because the other players, which at times this season, if Jack Grealish which quite a lot of the time he's got sometimes 2, 3, 4 players around him.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then Ross Barkley will pick it up and think, you know what, I'm the man. I'm going to show everyone what it's all about. And he'll kind of, play in a number 10 role, pick up the pieces, start pulling the strings. No one did it last night. So when Jack was kind of getting marked out of the game, we struggled because no one else. It was like the Villa of last season, in all fairness. Then Jack Grealish takes it upon himself, thinks, do you know what, I'm not having joy here, goes to the right-hand side. He sets up the goal that we score. And you kind of think, oh, okay, 10 minutes to go. Can we get back into it? And then 2 minutes later, we can see the third. It's just like, it's just not going to be our night. But yeah, it was probably our poorest performance of the season. In all fairness, it was pretty bad.
Okay, yeah, because I saw a tweet you put out, Chris. I hope I got. Yeah, I think you said about your form in 2021 has not been that. What's not been that great? So what do you think's been the big difference between sort of before the turn of the new year and now?
I think the big thing is, I mean, I suppose when you look at it like that, you think, okay, was there a big difference? I suppose you're looking at isolation. Our first 2 games, our first 2 league games of 2021 were against Manchester United and Manchester City. So, how many teams are beating both of them? Not many. But then since then, we've had Southampton, Newcastle, obviously a game last night as well against West Ham. They're games that, aside from Newcastle, who are a bit of a bad run at the moment, the likes of Southampton, the likes of West Ham, they've played fairly well this season, but still, I think those games expected a bit more. We got lucky against Southampton, maybe expected something last night, but I think probably the biggest thing for 2021 for us is that we had the big kind of COVID issue, didn't we? The outbreak, we had 9 players, 5 staff members got COVID-19, and some of them would have been asymptomatic, but even if they were, we had the training ground was closed for the best part of 2 weeks. Players were training at home, training in local parks. It makes a difference when going away from a multi-million-pound complex to training in your own time. And I think as well, not having your coaches giving you a kick up the backside, it's totally different. So you don't get enough out of it. I think that made a difference. And there probably are some players who have had COVID who are still struggling to get over it. I think St. Maximan for Newcastle, he spent the best. He's 6 weeks, maybe 2 months, where he struggled to get over it, hasn't he? So I think that is possibly an issue. But whether it's one of them that it could be that is the issue. It could be that it's a bit of a reality check, and we've overperformed this season because we've been top 10, top 8 for the most of this season, or whether it's just a blip and it's our first blip of the season because we've been flirting with top 6, top 8 for a big part of this season, and we've always had a couple of games in hand on most of the teams. So it could be one of those things, but I think probably the COVID issue is probably the main thing at the moment. And a few players seem to be a bit fatigued and kind of chasing shadows a bit, so it might take a bit of time for them to get back up to speed. But yes, we've not started great in 2021.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Chris. Chris, I'm just going to get the guys to take a couple of questions. Anthony and Gooner Nation. Arsenal, Ross, big up, mate. Do you think Odegaard will first start against Villa? Before you answer that, guys, incorporate this question as well. What do you think? What do you think needs to be done over the next few years to get Arsenal challenging for the league title again? And is Arteta the man to get you there? Chelsea fan. I'm going to quickly answer that very quickly. I'm a Christian, so I'm going to keep going to church for us to maintain a good title challenge in a few years' time. We're way off that. But Gooner Nation, do you want to take that? What do you think it's gonna take to get us? I would say competing
for the title. It's going to take a miracle, mate, and I mean that not in a harsh way, because people have been. I've been saying this about Arteta. I don't think he's the bloody worst manager in the world or anything. But if you told me after we made our summer transfers, you're going to be potentially in 12th position come in February, would you be happy with that? I'd be like, you're mad. We ain't going to be anywhere near there. I was expecting top 6. This is the problem. So let's just say we finish 8th, 9th, 10th this year, which is a real possibility, yeah?
Yeah.
What happens next year? Do we fight for top 8 and top 6? We were doing that 3 years ago. We're doing that 4 years ago. That's not progress. That's not progress. And you're saying give Arteta time. I understand that, but I want to see progress. Just because he's a new manager, does that mean we don't have expectations? Does that mean we do not have a certain place we need to finish? If not, we spoke about the board, Kroenkes, all of that enough. That's a big problem because that just shows me a lack of ambition, and it means nothing to me. I don't want to fight for top 6 next year because we did that for years. I'm not seeing enough to make me think we're going to be title challengers in 3 years, in 4 years. For me, there's a big overhaul. There's a big overhaul needed with the team, manager, the Kroenkes. Sorry, getting emotional. I look at it.
It does that to you, mate. Don't worry, mate.
No, but for real, listen, when we used to finish top 6, I thought that was awful for Arsenal. We spent 20 odd years in top 4, and I thought, man, Europa League. Now, let me tell you now, if Arteta ended up finishing 6th, people will be talking about him like he's a messiah. Oh, I told you this guy's amazing and stuff. But for me, I'm sorry, I just can't see it that much. There's not enough progress. There's too many steps needed to be changed. We are far, far off title challenges, my friend.
Yeah, well said. Anthony, same question also as well, Anthony. Would you give this man a start against Villa?
You know what? I think the way we played first half against Wolves before the decision went against us, that's how I want to see us play. I couldn't say that what happened to us was as a result of playing badly. So I would leave it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I go into the Villa game exactly the same way. I know we're going to be missing obviously our centre back and a goalkeeper. But in terms of the forward players that played, I'd stick with them. Pepe is starting to show us a bit of form, but Bukayo Saka, you can't take Bukayo Saka out. Smith Rowe as well. I'd keep him in there. Odegaard, unfortunately, might just have to wait a little bit longer. Definitely get him on the pitch this time if we can. But yeah, no, I was really encouraged by what we saw in the first half. And going to that question about Arteta, I think, look, we all love the idea of the fairy tale of the ex-club captain coming back to restore glory to the club. We've seen it with Mikey there as a Chelsea fan. We've seen it with Lampard. Unfortunately, it didn't play out that way. We like the idea of Arteta being the man to bring us back to the glory days. Unfortunately for Arteta, I feel he's got potential. I think he can do a job. I don't think he's going to do the job. I think sometimes a guy will come in, almost in a sense, the way I looked at Emery when he took over from Arsene Wenger. Sometimes a guy comes in just to steady the ship and keep things going for the next man to come in. I can see the work Arteta is trying to do. You can see we call it the dead wood. He removed a lot of the dead wood. You can see the ideas he's trying to implement. Unfortunately, he's probably not going to have enough time to complete that project. But he might be one of the guys that can, maybe begin the process, start the project for the next man who's a bit more capable to enhance the project. So that could be it. But yeah, look, a lot of investment is needed. Again, I don't know with such an inexperienced coach, we need to be very smart in our acquisitions in the future. We need to be really, really clever, and that's been a big problem for us. We've thrown stupid money at the wrong signings. We've got to get someone in there, and I don't know, as such an inexperienced coach, can he be fully trusted? And with Edu as well, Edu is so new in this role. He's not the most experienced, especially in the European market. I don't know, can two guys with the lack of experience be trusted to bring you to the next level? Like I said, it could be maybe Arteta and Edu for Arsenal are a stepping stone towards something else. If they can get the ball rolling and we can see a bit of a blueprint going forward, it could be just a case of maybe the next man that comes in could be the man.
All right, cool. Now, good answers. Good guys. Keep your comments in the chat. Thank you. The chat's very lively, man. Chris, can I ask you a question, right? And this is why I love getting other football fans on, right? Because
Yep.
Arsenal fans on Twitter, especially, Jesus Christ, mate. You know what it's Chris? There's two battles. There's the Arsenal fans that, you know, the club is the most important thing first and foremost, and then you've got the fans who love the players more than the club.
Yeah.
So that's where the clash is for me. So what do you make of two players in particular, quickly, before I ask you about Mr. Jack Grealish? What do you honestly make of Granit Xhaka and Hector Bellerin as footballers?
I mean, with Bellerin, he's been on decline for a few years now. In all fairness, seemed to be. I mean, what you're probably looking at 2016, 2017. We saw the best of him.
Yes,
was a good attacking right back. Pace, got forward. Just seems to have kind of lost almost, you know, everything that was good about him in the last 2-3 years. I just think, yeah, whether that comes down to injuries that he's had and things like that, and he just hasn't quite got over it. Then when it comes to Granit Xhaka, I just, you know, you guys will know more than me because obviously you watch him more. But when I see him play, I don't quite kind of know what he does in terms of, you know, you're looking at a centre midfielder, you want someone to be maybe breaking up play, you know, kind of, or someone who's going to dictate play and things like that. And I think sometimes you're just struggling to see exactly what he does in games. But again, obviously, you know, with the player like Xhaka, you'll see him a lot more than me. But I just kind of struggle to see exactly what his best role is and maybe what he's been good at for Arsenal.
No, I appreciate that. Same old Arsenal in the chat. Thank you. I love the podcast. It's cool. Been on there a few times as well. No, fair point. Let me bring that up. So 17 points out of 21. Yeah, 6 clean sheets. What's the manager got to do? What I'd say to that is, you know what it is. Same old Arsenal. Craig, whoever's behind it, great show. But love always. But with the fan base, unfortunately, I think a lot of people have made their mind up already, and I think it doesn't even matter what set of results come about. Some people have been, yeah, we all get the thing that a lot of us didn't want Arteta in the first place. I understand that for obvious reasons, but he's here now. One thing I must say in his defense, I actually felt sorry for him on the other night. I did. I genuinely felt sorry for him because you set the team up. We should be comfortably at least 2 goals up going into a halftime break, and then you get that second 45 minutes. What are you supposed to do as a coach? I don't care whether you're Ancelotti, Mourinho, Guardiola. When you have a performance like that in the second half of the game, and you end up losing the game 2-1, you're down to 9 men. So I do get it from that point of view. Like, it's with Arteta, me personally speaking. It's a hard one. I'll be honest, I'm not totally convinced, but then like the same what Arsenal said, you know, one defeat in 7. Is it second best defensive record in the league as it stands, I believe. So there's always going to be, that's a positive. You can't knock that. I mean, but then we need to score more goals. But then you can see what Arteta's doing in the sense that he's tried to solidify us defensively, which he has done. Whether people want to admit it or not, he has done that. Attacking wise, we can be a lot better, but to me, that's a mixture of recruitment and the quality of the players in the club that we already have. Yeah, good old Craig. Craig, I knew it was you, man. Don't worry, man. I knew it was you. But yeah, Chris, I also want to sort of get on to ask you another question, mate. So yeah, Jack Grealish quickly, mate. I remember Jack Grealish when he had his first stint in the Premier League. And I think Tim Sherwood gave him like his first sort of run in the team, and you could see then he had potential, but you never know with potential. Are players going to fulfill it? Has even Jack Grealish surprised you how good he actually is, or are you not surprised at all? Where do you sit with that?
Not surprised in the slightest. You could just if you look back at videos of him from when he broke in the team under Sherwood. You look at him and it's exactly the same. Apart from he looks different as a person. He's bigger. He's stronger. bigger and stronger, which obviously is helps him with his game, and he's got that bit quicker. I think technically, obviously, all players improve, but technically he kind of plays the same way, always has done. He's one of them that he's awkward to get off the ball. He's kind of quicker with the ball than without the ball. But yeah, when he broke through, you could just see, this guy with his floppy fringe and his kids' socks and no shin pads and all that rubbish. You could just see he was one of our best players easily within 6 months. He had his kind of off the field kind of issues, which were. Yes. No, I don't think they're anything major. He's 17 years old. These things can happen. Going out and getting drunk abroad with your mates and things like that. But yeah, he's just getting better and better and better. And this, last season, coming into the Premier League, like back into the Premier League, he had to step up, and he did. And this season, and you thought, okay, this season with the England expectations that he's got. Thought, okay, he needs to step up again. He's kind of stepped up to maybe 3 levels. He's just been fantastic, and I think there's still a lot more to come from him. That last night he was poor, but I think sometimes it gets to that when if you're relying on just one player in a game, which we seem to last night, it's tough. But no, Craig, you're not having. I don't want El Neni Xhaka and 10 mil for Grealish. Not happening.
Give us Louise as well, mate.
We'll chuck in William. We'll pay you to take him.
We will. We'll drive it to Birmingham. Don't worry. But no, Grealish. Sorry, but yeah. So, Chris, I want to say, I was checking some stats, and Villa haven't done a double over Arsenal since 92-93. You won 1-0 both times. Good old Ron Atkinson days, mate. Yeah. And I don't think Arsenal haven't scored in the last 2 games we played against Villa, actually. What I would warn Arsenal fans, though, is when we played Villa earlier in the season, Villa lost 2 back-to-back games, conceding a lot of goals. They've lost back-to-back games. Was it Burnley, Chris, was it? And obviously yesterday. Is that right?
No, so we lost against Burnley, but then we beat Southampton, and then we lost last night.
All right, so 2 out of 3. I almost got it right. But Arsenal fans, remember what happened last time. So just we know this is going to be a tough game because it's not just a case of Jack Grealish. But yeah, Chris, you know what I want to ask this question purposely, right? And I know the answer to this question anyway, because you've probably seen it amongst the Arsenal fan base, and Gooner Nation and Anthony will agree with me in terms of probably there's a lot of snobbery in terms of players that are linked with Arsenal, or some players that Arsenal fans might want to come to the club who are not sexy, fashionable names. I want to ask you, how much did you pay for Matty Cash?
About 15 million, I think 14, 15 million.
And remind me, what club did he come from again?
Notts Forest.
Right.
Nottingham Forest, yeah.
Matt Target?
He was about same price from Southampton.
Yeah, thank you. Good point. Thank you again. Ezri Konza?
12 million from Brentford.
Yeah, and I think he's impressed me the most, actually. So Arsenal fans, it is possible to find gems, not only gems, very good players that can compete at the highest level in arguably one of the best leagues in the world. So please take note of what Chris has just said and what I've said. Thank you. So you know what, Chris?
Ollie Watkins as well. He's come from the Championship. I know I think he was 28 million up front, but he's got 11 goals this season.
Yeah. I was Chris, you just took the words out of my mouth. I'm gonna come to the guys. I'm gonna come to Anthony. Yeah, what do you make of? I've just reeled off 3 Villa players there, and Chris has obviously mentioned Ollie Watkins, so that's 4. 2 of those guys are from the Championship, and 2 other clubs you could argue. 3 from the Championship. Sorry, 3 from the Championship. Yeah, sorry, and then 1 from the Premier League. So, do you think where do you sit with what I mentioned about the snobbery with Arsenal fans in terms of not getting the sexy names into the club? What's wrong with looking at the Championship? What's wrong with looking at a Basuma at Brighton or a Tariq Lamptey at Brighton? Where do you sit with the sort of snobbery, or do you feel that? Where do you sit with that, mate?
Yeah, look, it definitely exists in a big way amongst the Arsenal fan base. The best example I can think of, Jamie Vardy, £1 million from Fleetwood, and look what he's done. You don't have to come from Real Madrid's youth academy to be a good player.
Yeah, thank
you can
Absolutely.
even Rob Holding. Like Rob Holding he's been one of our better players this season. What did we 2.5 million for
2 million,
both?
2 million, yeah.
I think it comes back to the investment we made with Pepe. We were being linked with Ryan Fraser, who was doing it in the Premier League. He had a lot of assists. Now, because we could have got him for free or a very low fee. He was a Scottish international playing for Bournemouth. No, we wanted the guy playing in League One. We wanted the guy with like you said, the sexy name, the big price tag. Automatically, he's the better player. He's the better option. Definitely, it's a case of snobbery. And I even think we're being linked with Jack Grealish, but I don't think Grealish is realistic for us. And people, I think, are turning their noses up at the likes of Basuma now because
I love him at Arsenal
out there. And in terms of Grealish, now look, I'm Irish. I don't know if I'm ready to forgive Grealish yet.
Sorry, I should have. Sorry, mate. I should have remembered that. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm quite ready to cheer on Grealish. I thought I was going to be cheering him on with a green shirt on his back. I don't know. I know. Look, he's come on leaps and bounds. He really has. Jesus, some set of calves on him as well. Like he has got good calves, mate. He has got good calves. He has. Like that. He'd be a dream signing. Like he looks the real deal now. Which makes it all the more painful now seeing him wearing the English shirt. Again, it's completely understandable as to why, but it still doesn't make it hurt any less because like the Irish squad is crying out for players like himself and Declan Rice now. We're so bereft of talent at the moment. There's nothing coming through. But that's another podcast altogether. But yeah, like I said, look, we get linked with a certain name, and straight away we've disregarded, the name previous, like Basuma. A week ago, Basuma was the player we needed. This week, we get linked with Grealish. Suddenly, Basuma's not good enough because he's playing for Brighton.
Yeah, 100%.
Time again, we always want. It's kind of almost like, in a sense, this is probably going a little bit off topic, but the likes of Balogun. Balogun's name has been thrown out there, and automatically because Balogun is the new shiny, thing. Suddenly he's better than Eddie Nketiah, who has been in the team and has first team experience and has scored goals. Suddenly this guy is better because he's the new name, and it's such a problem with Arsenal fans. We're not willing, I think, to accept that not everybody has to come, from the big club. We all have to start somewhere, and I think it was Pep Guardiola that said it. City played in the cup there recently. I can't even remember who they played. A smaller club, didn't they? And
is it Cheltenham?
That's it. And he said something. I'm not sure his exact quote, but he said something along the lines of, we've all started at that level. Like every world class player started, playing Sunday League football. They've all started. We all played out on the street with our friends in our back gardens. We didn't all come through, from the day you kick a football. You weren't doing it, in the new camp. And people forget that you have to start somewhere. Just because you're playing at a lower level doesn't mean you're not good enough to play at a higher level. So yeah, as I said, it's gonna be a lot of clever recruitment, and I would like the Arsenal fans to sort of put that aside and sort of go, we're signing a guy, okay, he's playing in the Championship. Don't judge him until he kicks the ball for us. Give him time, get behind him. We can be an awful fan base at times. We tend to shut our players down rather than big them up. And I think our mentality has to change. We want the club's mentality to change in a lot of senses. I think it has to start with the fan base.
I think.
No,
sorry.
Go on, Chris. No, go on, mate.
Sorry to put in, mate. It's just what Anthony says there is bang on. I think if you look at, say, Liverpool, for example, some of the players they've got, Robertson, who's been brilliant for how many years? He came from Hull.
Yeah, thank you.
I know Van Dijk, he's top class, but he's come from Southampton.
Celtic before, yeah.
You got Joe Gomez from Charlton.
Yeah.
Jordan Henderson, came from Sunderland. You got a lot of these players. You're not going for top end. Not the likes of Odegaard. I know. Or they've got to be already playing in Champions League, already playing in Europe. Those are the kind of players. I suppose does personality come down to it as well? Someone who wants to play for the shirt, who's going to maybe who've got got a lot to prove, or they want to try and prove themselves in the Premier League, as opposed to someone like Willian, who's the other end of his career and maybe he's in it just for the money.
Yeah, no, it's good. But Chris, you make a good point because it's gone out of my head what I was going to say. But let me come to Gooner Nation. Yeah, what's your thoughts on the sort of what I mentioned about the snobbery and some Arsenal sections of the Arsenal fan base? Sorry, turning their nose down on or turning their noses up. Sorry, at certain gems, shall I say?
I tell you what, I think this is just in general with a lot of football fans. We see it more on our Arsenal timeline, but every single time there's a new name, he's better. Get him in. Every time. I can rarely think of anyone that was ever thought of like, no, we shouldn't get it. And it's weird. It's sometimes laughable that when we look at our team right now, don't get me wrong, there's places here and there where we need to get rid of, but some people talk about these guys like they're relegation candidates and stuff. We've got, if you ask like singularly, and you ask a lot of the Premier League's team, would you take him? Would you take him? There's a lot of top players there that can do well. For some reason, as soon as you hear a big name, a big money, even big, do you know if you've never seen this guy play, but you asked to link with him for 50 million, people would say, yo, we should get him. But you haven't even seen him play. You're just looking at the price tag a lot of the time.
YouTube clips as well.
Smart business, but this has got to go down to the manager as well. Dean Smith, when he was at Brentford, he spent peanuts, mate. Romain Sawyers, Rico Henry, Tarkowski, he didn't not even a couple of million on him. Nothing. Good. It's possible. It's possible for it to be done. The one thing I liked about Arsene Wenger is he openly said he never liked to work with big agents. And let's be honest, a lot of these players, our big money signings, how many of them have really worked out? Pepe, 72 million. Has he been worth it? We know he hasn't. He's improving, but that's too big. Mustafi, let's just not. Granit Xhaka, people are still 50-50 because we did play a lot of money for him and it's taken him a while to get used to it. But then you look at these little hidden gems of like Rob Holding, they talk about the 2.5 million, even just the small ones like Guendouzi recently for 10 million. You can sell him for more. There's players there. We need to stop just thinking just because someone plays for a good team that they're automatically going to fit in with Arsenal. It's a myth. It's a myth. If you're a good player, you're a good player. And what you got to realize is these championship clubs, they've got some impressive scouting as well. They're looking at the right places, some places that we overlook as bigger teams. I know we tried it. We brought in players like you mentioned Jamie Vardy, and I know it didn't work out, but Cohen Bramall came in at Arsenal, so we're looking at the lower leagues. We're trying to see if we can get that. I think that's gone recently. I've not seen it in recent years. We're getting linked with a lot bigger names, a lot more bigger money. That's not always the case. It doesn't have to be because Thomas Partey and Gabriel, fantastic signings, but can we maintain that amount of money spent, 40, 50 million on players all the time? If we're missing out on Europe, we definitely can't. So we need to improve our strategy, and mainly these agents, we need to move away from them, man, because they're going to rinse us for money. I know it's good to have these relationships, but it's going to cost us. It's really going to cost us. And listen, there's hidden gems out there. Arsenal, absolutely. I don't know if I trust our scouting and if I trust our transfer business at the moment. We still got to give them the summer. Let's see how they do. So far, I wouldn't say it's bad at all. Got rid of Deadwood. We've brought in some good players. Not, okay, Willian, Renarson, maybe not 100%, but still promising. We just need to make sure we don't fall into this trap of working with these agents, getting in players that are past it, but they play for a bigger club, so they're better. The likes of Bissouma, the likes of Buendia, they can do jobs for us, man. Like, I want to see how we do. I'm hoping that these big money agents and these super agents don't have that much of an effect on us this summer, man.
Yeah, Dylan, Chris, you make a good point. I want to put in regards to, it's one thing about the talent and the potential and whatever, but Tony, I'll never forget Tony Adams when Unai Emery was under severe pressure. Not even severe pressure, he should have got the sack, period. When we lost to Leicester 2-0 at their ground. And Tony Adams was talking to Sky Sports after the game, and he was questioning Arsenal's recruitment in the sense of, are they the right fit for the club? Do they have the right character? I'm not sure Arsenal were doing that, and that stuck with me. And he's right. He's bang on, man. Can't just bring any club willy-nilly to the club, but you got to dig a bit deeper. To be honest with you, but yeah, Chris, I wanted to ask you about Ollie Watkins. Actually, I love. Listen, I always tend to look at strikers generally in the Premier League anyway. And to be honest, I wanted him to do well when he got the chance to come from Brentford to Villa. I paid a lot of money for him because I think he was rumoured with Callum Wilson at the time, but which I was quite surprised he didn't go to Villa. I think he's a Midland born and bred guy anyway, but he chose to go to Newcastle. goodness knows why. Sorry, Kendall, if you're watching. But yeah, it did shock me, Chris. I'll be honest. I thought, what was Callum Wilson doing? But went for Ollie Watkins. What 24? I think. I can't remember how old he is. No, I forgot. 20. Is he 25? 25.
25. Yeah.
Yeah. 27 million pound initially, and the add-ons like about £5 or £8 million or something like that. But yeah, how's he done? She's like you said, was it 10, 11 goals, 21 games? How have you seen his general play as well as goals this season for Villa?
Do you know what he has been? As you know, no question. He's been as vital to us this season as Jack Grealish has, because what we've done is we've stepped it up a level. Obviously, last season we stayed up by a point on the last day. So we've changed our play slightly, and what we've done is we kind of press him from the front. So I suppose you know defend him from the front, and he does not stop running. He pressures the defense. I mean, you guys would have seen that your place would beat you earlier in the season. Just that pressure from the front from him, and it causes a lot of problems. And that's what's been good. He presses from the front. It's one of them, chasing lost causes. A long ball go. You saw it last night. Long ball went forward. He chased it. There was no one near him, and he managed to win a corner out of it just by kind of getting to the ball first, turning and knocking it off a West Ham defender. He does that. He does everything. Runs the channels, and obviously, he backs up with the goals. I think at the time a lot of people probably thought, and it was a lot of money, but I think that just kind of epitomised what Brentford thought of the player, because
100%.
his goal, losing his goals was also going to be big for him. No, they've replaced him with even Tony, but he's been fantastic for us. He just puts so much pressure on the defence. It makes them hard to play, and we kind of sometimes he needs a bit of help, but he's taken his goals well this season. Hat-trick against Liverpool. I think he got 2 against you guys last time. Obviously, he got 1 last night, which is a really good finish. He's been brilliant. He's been, a vital cog in the way that we've kind of stepped up this season, and we've been a bit more progressive.
Yeah, no, good point. Yeah, like I said, I think he's done brilliantly. Like, people got to understand, when you make that leap from the Championship to the Premier League, it's not easy. There's not too many players done well. I mean, the one that sticks in my head who just was brilliant was Kevin Phillips. He started off at Baldock Town, I think, Watford. Comes to Sunderland and bangs in what 20, 30 odd goals in the Premier League. Incredible. That's not, you don't do that by fluke. If you got it, you got it. But yeah, Chris, I'm gonna get some team lineups predicted. You and your amazing other Villa,
Jude.
Jude. Jude couldn't come on, unfortunately. But let me get the teams up. I'm gonna get Villa's team up first. Tell me where I've gone wrong with formation wise. Anyway, gonna get that up now. So yeah, that's what you front the time, or what you probably more or less what the team lineup will be for Villa on Saturday. Yep. Am I right with that formation? Is there any personnel that you think will not be in that starting 11?
Do you know what? After last night, you can make an argument for probably about 4 or 5 of them dropping out. The midfield last night, those 3, Barkley, Louise, and McGinn, they were all very, very poor.
Yeah,
that's how we should play, and that's how we should have played last night. But what happened last night was that Louise was more of a deeper in front of the back 4.
Yeah.
Then Barkley was where Louise is on there. So we had 1 6 and 2 8s, whereas we'd have kind of 2 6s and a 10, so more of a 4-2-3-1 like you've got there. And that's worked better, because without the ball, what's happened is Barkley has pushed up alongside Watkins, and then we press as a 4-4-2. So you've got the Watkins and Barkley pressing the opposition defence. Then we've got 2 backs of 4. We didn't do that last night. Barkley was a lot deeper with the other 2. We just became easy to play through. But El Ghazi started on the right last night and was pretty poor, in all fairness. So it's possible Traore comes in. Trezeguet's come back from injury. He was injured, and he had COVID as well. So Trezeguet could possibly come in as well. We signed Morgan Sanson from Marseille. Potential that he comes in, but in all fairness, I think if I was a betting man, I'd say that's what we'd start with. Exactly what you've got there, and exactly that shape.
Yeah, I must admit, from the flashes I've seen from Traore, he looks a handful, man. I mean, when you played Man City a few weeks ago, by the way, I think that's the best game I've seen in the Premier League this season. No, honestly, that was as a spectacle in a game of football. That was a brilliant game of football. And I could have argued that you could have easily walked away with a point in that game, mate. To be honest, I thought he's unlucky. You know, a controversial goal to go 1-0 up. We're not talking about officials too much tonight, but yeah. How's he done, Traore, the club since he's arrived, mate?
He's a like you say, he's a handful. He's one of them he's a real technician. He's got everything. Very left footed. I say that, but I think he's scored two.
Chris, we got one of them at Arsenal. Because Pepe.
Yeah. He plays similar to Pepe. Very left footed. I think saying that the last two of his last three goals have been with his right. He's just one of them. He's also frustrating, you know, similar to Pepe in all fairness. I think that he's got pace, he's good on the ball, he links up really nicely with the likes of Barkley and Grealish, because he kind of likes to play nice one-touch football.
Yeah.
I think he's got 6 goals this season. He's scored screamers, he's scored nicely. I mean, he scored a goal against West Brom. I don't know if you guys saw it a few weeks back. And it was, I say a few weeks back, it was back end of last year. He just cushioned it off the inside of his left boot, rolled in the bottom corner. He's got kind of everything in all fairness. I suppose the only downside is that whether it's fitness, kind of get going from the French league to the Premier League, he's not quite up to speed with the Premier League. And so sometimes Matty Cash has been caught out a bit.
Yeah.
Because he's been 2v1. In a defensive situation because Traore hasn't got back, but Traore's worked a bit harder recently. But yeah, if he coming off the right, he can pick up the ball now and score goals on the edge of the box. He can ghost in. He's got pace. He's got a good touch. I think he's just going to get better. But I think he was a player that I think John Terry played with him at Chelsea.
Yeah. So
he recommended him to the board and whatnot. They'd done their scouting, got him in, and he looks pretty decent, to be fair. I think he's similar to Pepe, but obviously, and cost a hell of a lot less.
Thanks for bringing that up, by the way. But no, you're right. I think it is. I think the comparisons, I think they're spot on. Traore and Pepe. I honestly think they're spot on. Again, like you said, the main difference is the price, but. Anthony and Dylan, I did the Arsenal team lineup. You might disagree with it. Tommy, pick the bones out of it. I'm going to come to Anthony first. The reason why Anthony I've gone for Ryan in goal is because I pray that he's fit. To be quite honest with you, but I do think if I'm reading in between the lines, I think it might be Runarsson. But would you go with that same formation? Or do you disagree or agree with the personnel, mate?
That is literally 100% what I have written down.
Wow.
Again, I had Ryan / Runarsson because we're still not 100% sure. But yeah, that's like for like exactly what I have. Exact same information. Great minds think alike.
Brilliant. Okay, cool. Gooner Nation, my guy. What's your thoughts on that team lineup? Like I said, I personally, the only reason why I put Ryan in goal was because obviously there's rumors that obviously Leno got suspended. Sorry. So I think Runarsson will start if depending on how serious injury is with Matt Ryan. But would you go with that team, or is any tweaks you would make to it?
One question I've got, because I've not seen the update on him. What's happening with Kieran Tierney? Is he still injured?
Well, Arteta said before the last game there was no chance he's going to make that game. So if he's going to go for no chance of making the game on Tuesday, what's the likelihood of him making the game on Saturday?
Yeah, fair. I didn't know how close he was to return. If that's the case, I think, like you say, reading between the lines, Renarsson's going to be in goal. That's bang on. I don't see that front four changing. They seem to find good chemistry. Xhaka and Partey seems to be working. I think this is a good chance for Gabriel to get his chance 100%. To get back into the team, because let's be honest, man, when he's at full pump, he can be fantastic for us. I think that's pretty much spot on what we're going to see.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know what? I know. Gabriel's been a bit rusty, but he made. You know what? He made two brilliant tackles the other night, man. For a guy that's been out for a number of weeks, I thought once he gets back up and running, I can't wait to see him back. And he sort of
wasn't it Gabriel and Holding that were our centre back pairing against Villa last time?
I believe so. And we got ran ring. Yeah, that was a night to forget, mate. Yeah, don't let Chris smile anymore about that. But
Yeah, I have to be honest. As much as I rate both, I
Yeah.
don't quite rate them as a pairing. Not yet. I just
Yeah.
don't think they have that understanding. I don't know whether it's something to do with the language barrier. I'm not sure. I know Gabriel doesn't speak the best of English at the moment, so you put him beside David Luiz. You got the Portuguese thing. Even Pablo Mari. He speak Portuguese from his time in Brazil. I just don't know at the moment, and especially with a rusty Gabriel coming in, that would be my main concern.
You know what it is? I think with Chris, I'm going to ask you about one of Arsenal's bright spots this season. But before I come talk about him, I think with Arsenal's current form at the moment, I mean, I've made my thoughts pretty clear about Rob Holding, for example. Yes, I'll give credit where credit's due. I think he's been playing well, but do I think he's still good enough for Arsenal? No. People say to me, yeah, he's a good backup player. I'm like, I say to people, look, tell me why or what you think what his skill set is or how good he is. Tell me as to why you think he should be in the team. And I'm still waiting for a DM or a tweet. And I've been saying that I'm being serious. I've been saying that for about probably, I don't know, maybe 6 months. Going back to last, I don't know. But yeah, like I said, credit where credit's due. He's been part of, a good part of our, best defensive record in the league. So I will give him credit for that. But for me, long term, I'm not fully convinced. But Chris, I want to ask you about this Jack Grealish's best mate. I'm aware these two get on very, very well. What do you make of Bukayo Saka, mate?
Good player. I've always rated him, to be honest. It's I think Arsenal have probably maybe found his position.
Yes,
which is probably made him, I think that's probably why he's been playing better recently. He's more comfortable. I think when he first started playing, he was seen as a bit more of a left back or a left wing back. I think he's probably better or higher up the pitch. He's got a bit of everything, hasn't he? He's probably is a bit lightweight at times, but with his pace, his trickery, work rate as well. He kind of works hard, gets up and down. And he just seems like a nice bloke as well. He's a top player, and I think he'll do well at Villa next season when Jack Grealish gets in there.
I like that one, man. That's great, Chris. Good. I like you, Chris. I'll let you get away with that one, mate. But you know what, Dylan and Anthony, man. Let me say my piece about Saka before I come to my esteemed Arsenal colleagues, man. Now people are going to sound biased because obviously, I'm Nigerian, this origin, I back the guy, whatever. But this guy's got talent. He's been consistent. It's the thing. This guy's only 19. I said last season, potentially, and I think before the start of the season, he can play anywhere. He's like, when we used to watch Holland back in the late 2000s or late 90s, sorry, the De Boer twins who could play everywhere, even in goal. Like, he's that good. But no, Saka I said his best position for me, where I'd want him in the team, is where he is now, on the right of a free. Perfect. Even when Pepe was in the team, I thought, Arteta, don't you dare switch them around. Don't even think about it. And he didn't. But Saka's brilliant. It's a shame his goal got disallowed the other night, because I think that if he'd have scored, it'd have been 5 goals in 7 starts. And one thing many Arsenal fans have said is that as good as he is, he needs to add more goals to his game. But every time and this is what I get frustrated with Nicolas Pepe is I say footballing brain stroke, footballing IQ. Doing the right things at the right moments. Do a trick, use the wrong foot, get the ball in the box. Instinctive play. But yeah, I want to get you guys' thoughts quickly. I'll start with Dylan. Bukayo Saka, man, our young buck.
I'll tell you something, man. When you see youngsters, you see 18 to 21, 22-year-olds, what you do is you have to accept mistakes. Arsene Wenger said it. They're still developing. You got to learn to accept their mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't see no mistakes from this guy. This guy, at the age of 19 years old, the way that he carries the team forward, the way that he takes responsibility on and off the ball, that's nothing like I've seen. I'm not even lying, man. Like maybe I know I'm a bit younger and maybe my generation's a bit younger and I missed out on, a lot of the good youngsters back in the day. But at 19 years old, let me tell you, man, this guy's not normal. He really takes responsibility, no matter where he plays in the pitch. If you play him left wing back, that may not be his best position, but he'll do a job at left wing back. Play him central mid, not his best position. He'll do a great job at central mid. He doesn't look lost anywhere. That's not normal for a 19-year-old. Let me tell you that, man. Look, there's one thing, and I've said this before the last time I was on your show as well, mate. There's this myth about experience being on the pitch, and it should be ahead of youngsters a lot of the time. Emil Smith-Rowe and Bukayo Saka have shown me they can play consistently, they can play maturely, they can take responsibility. Emil Smith-Rowe's played very minimal. Played 4 appearances off the bench last year in the Premier League. That's nothing. He's come on, taken responsibility like that. Bukayo Saka, when he started with Emery, responsibility like that. Composed, mature. Martinelli, from day one, don't get mistakes here and there, but he plays composed, mature. These guys are 19-year-olds. They're putting people to shame. And when I see that, and when I see some declining players, 32, 33-year-olds making mistakes, I'm thinking, I love to see these youngsters given a chance. I know we're talking about Saka, but I'm just going to mention quickly. Emil Smith-Rowe, do me a favor. In this game, when he's not got the ball, just watch him. Just watch him off the ball.
Off the ball is brilliant. The
way he finds space, the way he creates gaps for the players, even when he's tracking back, his positioning, beautiful. That's from a 19-year-old kid already having that sort of IQ. Insane. It's absolutely insane. These two guys are the players that make me excited for the future, man. And we're just lucky. All I want to do is tie them down to 7-year contracts, keep them at the club. Let me tell you, man. These kids are something different. There's something different. At this young an age, I would have never expected them to be this good. And it's exciting stuff, man.
Yeah. No, well said. Well said. Anthony, anything to add to that, mate? Your opinions, mate?
Yeah, look, Dylan is spot on. Look, the footballing IQ of these two young kids is it's unbelievable. Like they're generational talents. We've been spoiled as Arsenal fans. A player like Saka might come around once every 10 years, and now we've got a Smith-Rowe as well. So we need to protect them at all costs. We need to build around them. I think Arsene Wenger said it best. If you're good enough, you're old enough. Yeah. And I think we can see the difference of what it means. We got these Hale End kids coming through, and they know what it means to wear the shirt. They know what it means to represent the club, fight for the badge. That maybe some of the, as we said earlier, the sexier names and the imports they don't have that understanding. These lads, they'll do a job anywhere on the pitch you put them. And I think the big difference you see in the talent, I like Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I know he's a handy player. He can play various different positions on the pitch, and like that, he'd do a job. The difference between him and the likes of Bukayo Saka is Bukayo Saka will play those positions, and he won't just do a job. He'd be the best player on the pitch, no matter where you put him. Yeah, that doesn't come around very often, So look, if he was at another club, he'd be the type of player I think we'd be saying, maybe we splashed the 72 million on him, and I just think we were a little bit unfortunate that he's a year younger, because had he come through maybe a season earlier, I don't think we would have spent that money on Pepe.
Yeah, good point. Great point, Andy. Great point. Absolutely great point. Guys in the chat, brilliant. Got Dan's in there from Man United Fan Football 1. And there's same on Arsenal's there with Craig. Much love. Russ, Mark. There's loads of people in the chat. Smash the like button if you haven't. Subscribe to my brilliant guests here, especially the Villa Together, and Jude couldn't come today, but subscribe to your channel. He's an amazing guy, man. Couple more things while we wrap up. Score predictions. So I'm gonna come to Anthony first. What are you saying, mate?
Yeah, look, I'm hoping we can capitalize on Villa, not performing too well the other night. We owe them a big improved performance after the last game. I take positives despite what happened the other night to us. I take a lot of positives out of the performance. Again, despite what went on, I think there was a lot of game-changing things that happened as we all saw. I honestly think if that game had finished 11-11, I think we'd have won it comfortably. So yeah, Wolves are in dire form. Dire. Yeah, and now look, to be fair as well, you could see that Wolves were a team lacking confidence. You could, but we were a team very much full of confidence. And like Dylan said at the beginning, it's not often we start with that kind of intensity. So I just hope, don't show Villa too much respect, because if you show Villa too much respect, they're going to do to us what we did to Wolves in that first half. So, I think concentrate on our game, play to our strengths.
Yeah.
Don't worry about, obviously you've got to worry about Grealish and Barkley and Traore. They're going to give you plenty to worry about. But I think we need to focus on our game more. So when we played the last time like that, we were struggling for creativity going forward. So it's like I keep saying now, second time around playing everybody, this half of the season, we're a different animal to what we were the first half of the season.
Yeah.
So it's just look, hopefully we show up on the day. And I think the bonus being, okay, we're missing a goalkeeper and we're missing a centre back, but I think it would hurt us a little bit more had we been missing maybe a Bukayo Saka or a throw or something. So look, I'm gonna try to be positive, and I'm gonna say 2-1 Arsenal.
Go on, Anthony, son. Go on, mate. Dylan, I'm gonna come to you, mate.
Last time we played United, I said I could see us getting a draw because the two teams are going to be too scared to attack, man. And I wasn't happy that happened, but that is what happened. And with this one, listen, I was happy with the last performance, how it went in the first 44. Like Anthony just said it all brilliantly. The man, he honestly took the words out of my mouth there. If we bring that same energy, which I think we will, we seem to be a bit more consistent. But let me tell you something, this game is going to be huge, a huge question for our mental strength.
So I saw Russ in the chat.
Don't you worry, I saw them.
Yeah, with nine red cards under Arteta, man. Jesus. Go on, sorry, Dylan.
I saw that. That's absolutely, and I think 3 of them are David Luiz, which don't get me wrong, that one wasn't. Yeah. It shouldn't have been a red card, but listen, look, the last time we played Villa, I think we already lost 2 games. That was our third, and that's when serious questions got asked. This is a big, big question of our mental strength right here, because we've had a loss. We got to pick up. We can't. Yeah. We've got to bring that energy again, and we've seen it before when Arsenal this season. When we lose, we just start off dull. We start off like we've already lost the game. We're missing David Luiz. We're missing a goalkeeper. Tierney's not back. Aubameyang. It is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I'm not going to look at it through rose-tinted glasses. I'm going to call it a draw again, which might be, a bit of a weak answer, but I think we can get it. Aston Villa, I think they've lost 4 in their last 6 games, so they're capable of being beat. But considering we're missing a few players, a bit of controversy around Arsenal at the moment, I think it will be a draw. That's my opinion.
Oh, and of course, should I let Chris go last? No, actually, let me get my result. Oh God, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I wasn't looking forward to this game, man. Probably even more so just for the fact that the goalkeeper situation is going to be an issue. Oh, mate. I'm going to go for... You know what? Arsenal might sneak it 2-1, I think they might sneak it 2-1. Might do. Might just do it. Who knows? Yeah, so, yeah. Chris, I'm going to come to you, mate. What's your honest reflection, mate? What do you think the score is going to be?
It's a tough one because I watched the Arsenal game the other night, and I think, as you say, I agree with everything you say. You were by far the better team. The red card changed it, completely flipped the game. The first red card, because it's tough to come up against a solid team like Wolves. With 10 men, obviously you've got to make a sub. Then second half with I think didn't Lacazette come off for to be able to. So that changes things then, because you lose that focal point, and obviously Leno going off as well makes a massive difference. So we have I think we have lost 4 in our last 6, and we haven't played great. But I feel like last night, there's going to be a reaction to last night because we were so bad. So I'm feeling 2-0 Villa. I think we'll kind of get back into the swing of things, and Grealish will show Hector Bellerin where the weights are.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? We do not need to repeat before, because that was a meme. Oh God, yeah. But someone Mike's gone for Desmond. Big up to Mike in the chat. I saw Fergus in the chat earlier as well, mate. Guns and Yellow Ribbons podcast been on there. Please go and follow them guys as well. Chris, I want to ask you. This is the most important question I'm going to ask you tonight. if you're allowed one dinner guest, right? Ex-Villa player, you can only have one out of these three people. Gareth Barry, David Platt, or Daniel Atkinson. It's hard, isn't it? I told you, see.
It's a tough one because you know they're all kind of different characters as well. I'd have to say Gareth Barry just because he's my all-time favourite Aston Villa player. You know, he came to us at a young age, almost epitomised what it's like to play for a club like Aston Villa.
Yeah.
And he was, you know, captained us through what our best years that we had most recently, which were 10 years ago or so. So yeah, I have to be Gareth Barry, but it'd be great to chat to Daly and Atkinson, because he's not around anymore. So would be good to have that moment to chat to him. So. So yeah, but I'd have to go for Gareth Barry. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gareth Barry. I don't know if I'm right. Is he 5th on all-time appearances for Villa? Which is not pretty. It's pretty good, man. Yeah, guys, I want to thank the guys in the chat. Amazing interaction. I was struggling to keep up with it, to be honest. But guys, please follow and share the content, whatever. Smash the like button. Follow Villa Together, and even though Drew couldn't make it, follow him as well. Before I finish, I just want to say something. I want to say a big thank you to the guys that tuned in and who were part of my panel on my transfer deadline day show on the Monday. And I raised quite an important subject to part of that segment, as you guys would have seen when I clipped it on social media about racism. Yeah, it's a very important thing to me, and obviously something I'm never going to be silent about and speak about. And like I said, I was made aware of something that happened on a live stream featuring one of the brothers. That's what I call him. Well, I'll do a preview of him on a Chelsea Arsenal game this season. But yeah, it's when I started this YouTube thing, guys. Love football. Don't get me wrong. Love Arsenal. Love watching internationally, domestically. But this is important to me, and it's my life, and it's a big thing. And even when I was talking about it at the time, I thought myself sort of getting a bit emotional towards the end of it, so I kind of cut to it. But big up to Kesh, Ryan, if you're watching, Joel. I had the right guys with me at the right time talking about that when I spoke about it. It's a very, very emotive subject, and not everybody's ever going to get on board, unfortunately. But that's down to individual responsibility and just what you want to learn and teach yourself and the people you want to hang around with. So yeah, just wanted to say that. But yeah, guys, appreciate you guys coming on. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the guys in their channels. That is me, Albert JTV, over and out. Match preview: Aston Villa versus Arsenal. Take care, my people.
Pleasure being on, man.